And I would imagine your most successful franchise owners, Ben, are the ones that are working on the business, right? Those are the traits of the most successful franchise owners, not the one that, don't get me wrong, you can be the technician. If you love being the technician, that's fine, but you're going to really be capped out on how much work you're going to get done unless you go ahead and hire someone. And that's got to be the challenge. So it's like you don't want to tell somebody they can't be the technician, but they better find somebody else then who's going to do the marketing and working on the business and overseeing it.
And you brought up a great point. This is what my franchise business consultants are great at. Okay. So we help figure out, what are you really good at? And what are the holes that you have today that we want to build on? Okay. And we feel like if the person wants it, gets it, and have the capacity to do it, we're going to get them in that seat and help them identify it. And then we're going to try to help them to hire in the right people. So the difference with DRYmedic, what I think makes us stand out across the restoration space, is you actually have people that worked in the business and on the business.
Right.
Everybody here at DRYmedic, from the top to the bottom, all have restoration experience. Our franchise business consultant, Aaron Fogarasi, 35 years in restoration experience. He has photos of the first dehumidifiers, air scrubbers, you name it. He tells you horror stories and war stories, right? Ryan Bussman, another phenomenal franchise business consultant who has been in the restoration industry, and he's been on the other side of it, selling insurance and running insurance offices across the country. So he gets policy. He understands how to support when we have complicated issues going on with different markets with different policies. Chelsea, she came in, she was my coordinator at our location for 6 years. And she understands the ins and the outs and the struggles. So we've got this dynamic, very unique team that understands the business and knows what it takes to scale it. So that really helps. Totally. Because I was the guy that wanted to do the work. I was that guy that was, nobody's going to do it better than me. I'm going to do that. No one can cut drywall faster. Right. But you know what? You can only cut so much drywall in a day. You got to be able to scale.
Right.
So we're really good about it. And we can support people that want to do the work or don't want to touch it at all. They want to hire the right people to do it. And we have systems and procedures to identify and hire the right type of people to help you along.
Yeah, I can't overstate enough on how critical it is to have franchise business consultants that are actually understand the business and they've done it themselves, because when you're supporting franchise owners, they think about, who is this person that's giving me this advice? Did they just read the book? Did they go through training themselves, or did they actually do it? And it is a completely other level altogether, because gaining the respect of franchise owners is a challenge. I remember one of my first franchise business consultants I had in my company, that he was saying to me, gosh, I just can't wait to earn the respect of these guys. And it wasn't that he had not been in our case, in the sports business, he had been, but he had never really ran a sports league business before. So it took a while for him to gain and gather up the, just the street cred, so to speak, with the franchise owners. But you get somebody who's been doing it for 35 years. You're a new franchise owner. You are going to listen to everything that guy says to you.
And you know what the best part is? Our team doesn't just talk, right? We're action oriented. So a prime example of a new franchisee that enters into our system, and they go out to their very first job. And most of the time that job's at 7, 6, 8, 9 o'clock at night. And that could be Pacific time. And we're in the Eastern time zone.
Right.
So they're frantic. They might be nervous. They don't know, like, hey, this is my first. Can you imagine the first time riding a bike? You remember that, right? You remember your first date. You remember that. You remember the smell of your first job. Okay. So here's our franchise business consultants that are ready to help you. They're standing by, waiting for you to reach out, and they want to coach you through that because we've been there. And early on, we alluded like, hey, I wasn't in the franchise space. I didn't have anybody to talk to. I didn't have somebody to lean on except our own internal team. And having that in your back pocket and having that support network there for you, it's so important, and it helps you grow so much faster. And that's where I think the value really is. Guys like Aaron, they're there for you.
Right.
I'm here for you, you know?
Their job is to really give you the confidence that you've got this and you could do it. I could imagine, if you didn't have your systems and processes together and having the right support, could you imagine being brand new, not knowing anything, and walking into a house that just had the house still has a smoldering fire going on, or, is just devastated by a storm, and it could be super intimidating unless you have, that support that you can call somebody and say, this is my first job. I'm kind of freaking out.
Right.
That they can walk you through it.
And what's really nice too is we have really unique tools, right? So we're able to, with the franchisee permission, when they give us access, we can go into their system with them and we can guide them through it, right? So
great.
Another example is franchisees, a lot of them really don't call during that first moment of loss. They'll call us maybe day 2, day 3 into the loss and say, hey, Aaron, can you jump in real quick? I'm getting ready to put my bill together. Can you look it over? Can you take a look at my photos? What did I miss? Is there anything I could have done differently or should go back and do? And we give value points to that all the time. And going back to stop restoration, because again, remember, we were purchased after the fact, right?
Mm-hmm.
And stop restoration has a great team. So we wanted to really show them what we know and how we can help them. So we created this auditing system. So we would go in and review what they've got going on jobs and help to make sure that they're pricing it properly, that their bills are in order, that there was items that they need to either A, continue to do, or B, maybe there was something that they did that didn't need to be done. Mm-hmm. So we wanted to show them that we understood the business, and we gained a lot of their respect in doing so. So much that one of our very first interactions with one of our stop guys was a company out of California. And this individual did not have fire damage in his repertoire. And he really was just new to the business. He just bought his operation. He was rolling. And we gave him some encouragement to get into the fire and really get into that part of the business and explain like our process and our step-by-step approach and the way we clean a fire, the way we treat the client during the fire. It's not about money. It's about people, right? It's about success. It's about helping them regain the confidence to go move back into that house. And we got him up to that position. He became franchisee of the year. Wow. He doubled his business like that, just by going out and executing on those level of service that we were able to help him understand. And he had to go do the work. Sure, we got him to third base, got him going, right, but he had to execute and he was willing to do it. So it was amazing to see that.
That's interesting. Ben, what's maybe some of the common background careers of most of your franchises? Is there an avatar there?
I wish there was just one. I think the most common thing that I see in our franchisees is they really want to help people and they want to be successful doing it. And they're looking for a business that they can make an impact on. So I really think that it's an entrepreneurial spirit really that is driving who's coming here. We've got property adjusters that have converted from adjusting into ownership. We have corporate America guys coming in here that work for huge corporations that have made the leap of faith into entrepreneurship and wanted to lead a team and really execute it on a high level in his marketing background to bring DRYmedic to his market. We had service-oriented people that did cleaning companies in the past or construction companies. They're doing phenomenal. I've even had people with limited experience in understanding anything outside of finance. And they were able to take our systems and hire the right people to execute on the job while they're managing the money, running the finance, and building the company up on the business, not in the business.
Sure.
So there really hasn't been any commonality except an entrepreneurial want.
That's awesome. Great business, by the way. It's going to work in any economy, of course, and it's going to work in any market.
Well, I like to tell you, in this business, the need for this is as important as a need for like a plumber or an electrician or even a heating and cooling specialist. And that's what I think the power of authority brands really brought to Carlos and I. And what we really were excited about is they understood the trade business and they understood how important it is to be able to go into somebody's house and execute on a high level and be regarded as an expert in that area.
Yeah.
And knowing that in an economy that is uncertain, in an economy that we don't know what's really happening, it's kind of strange. it's not really impacted that much because it's a need, right? When you have water damage, you need to clean that up. When you have a fire, you need to clean that up. And as a matter of fact, you have a contract with your insurance company that says you're going to do whatever it takes to get that house back to normal, right?
Yeah.
So it's definitely not, I don't think it's going away anytime soon. I think it's very secure, but it's hard work. And it definitely takes the want to be there in somebody's worst time of need.
Thank you for tuning into the Emerging Franchise Brands podcast. For additional insights, guest applications, and to stay connected, visit us at efbpodcast.com. The Emerging Franchise Brands podcast is for entertainment purposes only, and the views expressed do not necessarily represent those of Emerging Franchise Brands, its host Frank Fumey, or Emerging Franchise Group LLC. Any discussed franchise or investment opportunity requires thorough investigation, obtaining proper disclosure documents, and expert consultation before making any investment decisions. The podcast and its host do not offer professional advice or endorsements, and they hold no responsibility for actions, representations, accuracy, or consequential damages related to the podcast content.